Hi, my name is Patrick. I'm here with 4-H. Today we got a lot in store for you guys. It's going to be electrifying. Over here, I've got my plasma ball. The plasma ball creates electromagnetic waves by emitting a high frequency that ionizes the gas inside the sphere and turns it into plasma. When the gas is ionized, energy is emitted in the form of colorful streamers. Check it out. Let's get on to our lab. Hi guys, welcome to my laboratory. Here where we learn about science, technology, engineering, and math. Of course, we're here and we're learning about energy. Energy is all around us, whether it's in motion, kinetic energy, anything that moves has energy, or whether it's in potential energy. If I let go of this ball, it has potential to knock the other balls and create energy. So here we are, but today we're going to talk about electricity. That's one type of energy. And as you guys saw, we had the plasma ball. And the plasma ball is anything that's plasma has ionized air around it. And that means ionized is just another word for being stripped of its electrons. Now, what are electrons, you say? They're really tiny particles that are found in the atom. And all matter is made up of atoms. So if we have a lot of electrons, whenever we rub two things together, you can transfer electrons from one object to the other, such as this balloon. When I rub it on my hair, my wonderful hair, I get electrons that are staticky, and it creates an attraction with other materials. Now, you must be wondering, Mr. Patrick, what do you have here? What is this ball here? Well, let me tell you, it's a Van de Graaff generator. It was first created by a man named Van de Graaff. And what it has is it has a belt inside of it. And it moves around and it rubs against a piece of metal that's inside the ball. As you can see, inside here, there's a rubber that's moving across this metal. And what's happening is those electrons that I was telling you about, those tiny, tiny, itty, weeny particles are getting collected, and they're being collected on this ball. Now, all the other particles, the protons, what are protons? They have a positive charge, and electrons have a negative charge. All the protons get sent to here on this grounding ball. So, when you collect enough electrons, what will happen there's going to be electrons that want to jump from the ball to the little ball. So you will see this in a second. Let me turn off the lights for a perfect effect. There you go. We'll turn off the lights and we'll get this charged up a little bit. You can already hear it going a little bit. And once it gets charged up enough, we will see a spark. Did you see it? There's these little sparks that go. And of course, there's a lot of voltage here, but it is safe to touch. Now kids, whenever you're playing with electricity, you better be very careful and know what you're doing. Do not play with electricity without being informed on whether it can be safely done, because this can be very dangerous playing with electricity. But this Van de Graaff is safe to touch. And as you can see, I'll get a spark and oh, it makes my hand twitch. Ouch. All right. Now let me show you guys, when I put the grounding ball onto this ball, it neutralizes the ball. So then I'll put some cups on top, and when I let go of it, electrons get transferred and it flies off all my cups. Now, let me show you with a little bit of what attraction does. You can see that this gets attracted and it repels depending on the electrode charge. So as I neutralize it, and it goes away. So there you have it. You saw the little snake jump there at the end. All right. So where we have electricity is where we have there's two types of electrical happenings. There's static electricity and there's current electricity. Now current electricity is what we see that is running through the walls. And if I flip the switch, the lights turn on. Now where does all this electricity come from? Well, a lot of it comes from either solar panels or big generators that are at power plants, that what they do is they burn coal and steam gets pushed up and it moves turbines. And these turbines with motion, like we talked about earlier, kinetic motion, these turbines will spin and create electrical energy that powers all of our houses. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have a lot of fun today. We're going to build our own electrical fan. As you can see, I've got an electrical circuit that's going on. And you may ask, what is a circuit? Well, circuit comes from circle, and whenever energy, electricity, goes from around all these wires and devices and creates a complete circle, it creates a circuit. And a complete circuit will make things work. Now, energy is all about work, making things work. So we will create this little electrical fan. It's got a little switch and it turns on the fan. And when you get it, you get a nice little breeze. Ow! Ooh, don't try that at home. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So let's go ahead and learn about creating this electrical circuit and creating energy. Well, here I'm signing out. Take care. Ow, ow, ah. To make a soda bottle electric fan, you will need to go to your electricity, which has been found in your packet, and you can follow directions on right here, how to build your own soda bottle electric fan. So here's the directions that you can follow along. We'll show you how to do it as well, but you can follow along. If you get behind or need extra help, you can follow these instructions and do it as well on your own. So let's first show you the materials you need. You will have received a bunch of things that, for example, you'll need a bottle. This is something you'll need to find on your own if you don't have it in your packet. This is a 16.9 ounce bottle, but you can use any kind of bottle. If you have a water bottle like this, that'll work as well. Okay. And what you'll also need is you'll need the tape. You'll need all the things that are needed for the electric fan. So you'll need a fan. You'll need a battery holder. So some of you guys got this little thing in there. You won't need this. This is just to hold a motor, but you can just put that aside and you won't need that. You will need three alligator clip wires. The colors don't matter. And you'll need a little switch like this, 2 AA batteries, and you'll need the motor. You'll also need a little bit of foam, but if you don't have foam, this is to wrap around the motor and to hold it into the bottle. But if you don't have this foam, this piece of foam, you can use anything such as like a tissue paper. So that'll work as well. And we'll explain that once we get to that step. So the first step, let me push that aside. The first step that we'll need to do is to cut the bottle. Now, if you're cutting this, be very careful. You need to ask your parents for help for this. You're going to need to poke a hole into the bottle, and then you'll need to cut it about halfway across the bottle. Okay, like so. Now you got 2 pieces like this. I took off the paper, but if you have paper on yours, you can keep it on there. It's fine. But I already stripped mine off as well. Okay, so what you'll need to do next is you will not need this lid. So if you have a lid on here, mine had a hole in it, but you don't need this lid, so you can put that aside. Okay, and once you have done that, then you will need your motor. Now your motor looks like this, and it's got two this is where you'll connect the alligator clips. These are one will be positive and one will be negative. And this is where the shaft where you'll put the fan on as well. But for now, we'll put it in here. But as you can see, it slips through. So we'll need to put some foam or some tissue paper, wrap it around. And what you can do with this tissue paper is you can fold it a few times like this, and you can wrap it around your motor until you get the right amount to fit in there so that it's nice and snug. Okay, and then you can rip off the rest of it. Okay, you can also tape this on and make sure there's not too much. Maybe we need to fold it one more time so that it's nice and just around and doesn't get in the way of other things. So now that I have this tissue paper, you can tape it on there like so. And like I said, you don't want the tissue paper covering over here where this fan is going to be, because when you put the fan on, you want it to rotate evenly without hitting this tissue paper. And then you have these, you don't want to cover these as well. These will be what you need to connect your alligator clips to. So just check and see if it fits nice and snug in here. And mine will. But before we do that, we need to connect the alligator clips to it. Okay, so grab any two alligator clips, and you can bend these out just a tiny bit, these copper looking, and you're going to connect the alligator clip to it. Okay, just like that. And then you're going to connect another alligator clip. Like I said, the colors don't matter. Choose whatever color you want, and you're going to connect it to the end. Okay, now what you're going to do is you're going to move this, put this through the bottle and put it to the top. You're going to need to push it all the way through while keeping these alligator clips on. I'm going to use a pencil to help push it through. Okay, so you should have it like that. And then while you can hold it, and then you're going to put this fan blade on. Oops. Push this through. I pushed it too far and I lost an alligator clip. That's okay. You know, sometimes we'll get issues. We can always try to fix it. So, you know what I'm going to do? Maybe it'll be easier to do it this way. So I'm going to push it in this way, push the alligator clips in. Okay. And mine looks like it may need to be trimmed, some of this extra. And it may take a couple of times for you to get this inserted well, but that's okay. Okay, so I've got mine like that. And then when I put on the fan blade, I want to make sure that I'm holding this motor so that I don't push it back in and you want to put on the fan blade. And it's a little bit tough, but you can get it. Okay, so there you have it. I got the fan blade in, and the next step is you're going to want to connect one of these wires, it could be either one, to one of the ends of this, which is the switch. Okay, so you're making a circuit that goes through the switch, and then you're going to take your last alligator clip, the one you haven't used, and you're going to clip it to the other end, like that. Okay. Now, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to make a hole just so that where this switch is going to go in between. So you want to measure it a little bit. And you want to make a little hole, cut out a little rectangle. I don't know if you can see that. So I cut out a little rectangle here so that this switch goes right on inside there, so halfway. And then the other half will go on this bottle. So you're going to make the same little hole, a little rectangle, and try to make it about the size of the switch. You don't want to make it too big so that the switch falls through. Okay? And we'll connect that in a second. So the next thing is you want to connect it to your battery holder. Now you don't want to put in batteries until the very end, just to be safe. Okay? So what you want to do, you have two ends. You have this red one that's connected to the fan, and you want to connect it to either side of the wire. And then you have the white one that's connected to the other wire, like so. Okay? Now what you can do is you can put in the batteries. Batteries have positive and minus, and you want to put the minus side where the spring is. Okay? And then you want to put the other battery in as well. Now this little thing, there's a little lever that this keeps it off. But once you turn it the other way, it turns it on. Okay? Or it might be the other way. Yeah, it's right. So you gotta have it down like this if you want it to turn on. So let's see if our fan motor works, and it does. Okay, very good. So now all we got to do is assemble it. So we're going to put the battery in here and be very careful with these alligator clips so that it's doesn't fall apart on you, because if anything unclips, it'll break the circuit and you won't have electricity running to your fan anymore. So you want to put all the wires in like so. And where you made your little holes, you want to line up this switch. So it lines up right with those holes that you made, those rectangle holes. And it should be just like that. So you should have them all stuffed in, and then you have this switch, which turns on and off your fan. The last part is you want to take your tape and you want to tape this whole fan together. I'm going to tape it all the way around where the bottle has been cut. Okay. And I'm going to take my scissors and cut the rest of the tape off so that there you have it. You've got your bottle fan that turns on and off.
And if you notice, sometimes the fans will spin in one direction. If it's spinning the wrong direction and you feel air blowing this way more than this way, and you want to switch it, then all you got to do is go back in here and you got to switch the wires that are going from the switch. So instead of putting the green wire, which I have on the switch, you will put the red wire. So you just switch those around, okay? So I hope you guys enjoyed learning about how to make an electric fan. And if you need extra help, then definitely take a look at your instructions and enjoy your electric fan.
Oh, hey guys. So I'm back here. I had a blast with you guys doing the electric fan. Hopefully it works. And if you need more help, just look at the little guide that we sent you along with it. So take that with you. So we've been learning a lot about electrical energy. Here we have electrical energy that can be plugged in or flip a switch, and electricity runs through these wires, and specifically the electrons, just like we talked about earlier. Now, electrons, what are they again? Let's look at it. So I took this toy from my 9-month-old daughter, so hopefully she doesn't mind. Honey, do you need this toy? No, my wife says she doesn't need it. So this toy kind of looks like an atom. Right here in the center, it would be the protons and the neutrons. And then these little balls that are on the outside would be the electrons. And the electrons go spinning around the protons and neutrons, and they are in orbitals, and the s orbitals or the p orbitals or the d orbitals. And you'll learn more about that in college. So, but energy is also in food. Whenever we eat food, like a banana, energy is there. And as I swallow it, it goes into my stomach and it transforms into energy. So I can move around, do some jumping jacks. So energy is moving, can move from one place to another. It can move into my body and then move out into heat. That is another kind of energy. Thermal or heat energy. You can feel the heat of it. A lot of the energy comes from our sun in the form of heat and in light. So the sun brings us light energy and heat. So like I was saying, that energy can transform from one into another. For example, the sun sends out light energy, and the light energy is transformed by the plant into by photosynthesis into food for the plant. And then once a cow comes by and eats the plant, it creates fuel for the cow. And then when we eat the cow in a beef and a burger, then that creates fuel for us. So you can see how energy is moving from one area to the other. Now in science, we call this the law of conservation of energy. This means that energy is never gained or lost. It just moves from one to another. So energy gets emitted into heat, but that heat doesn't go away. It gets absorbed into other areas. And so that energy is constantly moving, never being created nor destroyed. So that's the law of conservation of energy. So I hope you guys are enjoying this program about electricity and energy. And I hope you guys are gaining a lot of knowledge. In 4-H, we always talk about our head. So we always like to grow in knowledge and to think clearly so that we can make informed decisions. So like if you want to grow up to be an electrician or an engineer or anybody that works with energy, then you would be able to master the laws and the concepts behind it. So we've taught you a little bit about how energy and electricity work so that you can use that in your future of whatever job you work at. Energy is always used no matter what job you use. So you can always be more efficient. You can always learn how to use energy in different ways. So it's a great
great thing to know about and to learn. So in 4-H, we learn in our mind and in our head, but also in our hands. And as you can see, we created a fan. So we use our hands to learn and to build things. And this is all what we do at 4-H, is building different things, using hands-on activities to learn. We also use our heart in 4-H, and this is for us to be loyal. So we're loyal to our studies. So we're very good and persevere in our studies in our school. So you want to do good at school so that you can feel accomplished whenever you do great things in the world when you grow older. The last thing is our health. So we want to stay healthy so that we can continue on with our mind, our hands, and our heart, so that we can be healthy in our heart, so that it beats well and keeps us living well. So we want to eat well, we want to exercise well, and we want to use this energy that we have to make our bodies a better tool for the world. So I hope you guys enjoyed this program and enjoy the rest of this Camp in a Box series. And we hope you take advantage of all that you've learned and apply it later in life. Take care. Mr. Patrick signing out.